I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Lend me your ears.
I'm all ears.
Listen well.
I have a word with I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Did you wear the Hockey Night in Canada shirt just for me?
No, this is my favorite shirt.
Why?
It's comfortable.
It's because it's worn in.
It's literally the most comfortable shirt I own. It was given to me by a Canadian.
It was given to you by one of those guys we fuck girls, right?
No. Who's that?
Oh no,
No, just a audience member. She sends me.
Oh, I thought it was like a friend who was a podcast. Weren't you friends with that Canadian comic / podcaster?
I'm friends. I know the guys we fuck girls. No, but this is she sends me Canadian Christmas gifts every year. So she sends me the little Canadian like maple syrup chocolates and stuff. Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's the easiest way to my heart is just send me food and t-shirts.
We came back when we went to Alberta. We came back with a bunch of like little like maple suckers.
Yeah.
And it does hit different.
Yeah.
The Canadian maple syrup is, because it's like so from the source, it is better.
It makes you feel how ripped off we are as Americans because everything's like corn syrup.
Yeah.
And that's like maple syrup. That's like God's corn syrup.
The quality of just the food up there in general is different. We went to a McDonald's and it was like the beef was so much better. They had a fucking McDonald's that had like, you could get poutine. Everything was fresh. There was like a fireplace in there. It felt so weird for it to be like so nice and cozy. And it was up in the mountains. It was up near Banff. So
Interesting.
Like, super like, it's weird to say, but like a beautiful McDonald's. And the treatment you get when you walk in, it was weird because we walked in and this dude's like, bienvenue à McDonald's. Which like,
bonjour, c'est McDonald's.
Yeah, you don't expect, like French to be spoken ever at a McDonald's. And it's also not a French-speaking province, so we were just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's just that one guy.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, this guy's great.
Just flexing.
Dude, I was in the McDonald's in the Valley. I had to pee because the McDonald's is the best place to go pee. You buy a junior, whatever, buy something, go pee. And it was the one where there's no storefront. You just show up and it's a to-go. Have you been to that one?
Which one
is it? It's just south of the Ha-Ha. It's just complete garbage. It's just like a to-go.
Oh, on Riverside?
Yeah.
You can't eat there anymore?
There's no counter to order. You have to order on the flat screen TV. This is like, I like talking to people. You got to order on the thing. God knows what you're touching on the display. Yeah. And then they just bring it out to you from the kitchen.
Holy shit.
Order 702. That's it. Done.
Wait, so there's no indoor dining? Because that one's like 2 stories now, isn't it?
They don't even have seats. They have like cushions you can lean against.
But just to order for takeout.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what COVID did. That's what all those fucking ghost kitchens, which like I have such a grievance against those.
Yeah.
I hate those things.
Yeah, like they like pretend to be Cracker Barrel. It's like, you're not Cracker Barrel unless you're selling me some racist ornament in your gift shop.
There's a place right up the street on Lancashire and like, I don't know, Burbank, like just south of Burbank and on Lancashire, that's just like a hall. And it's always backed the fuck up because stupid fucking delivery drivers, DoorDash guys, Uber Eats, all those fuckers are parking their cars either in the center lane or like throwing the hazards on and taking up an entire lane because it's just a hallway of ghost kitchens. Just like 5 or 6 different restaurants, none of which are like chains. They're just like weird pop-ups, weird names. Like, like Mr. Beast runs all his shit out of there. And they fuck my day up every single time I drive past one of them.
Yeah, no, it's not like we're asking for much with fast serve restaurants, as they call them, quick serve. But because I used to work for McDonald's when I worked in advertising, and they said,
what?
Yeah, they said you couldn't call it fast food; you had to call it quick serve restaurants, QSRs. And it's like, you're fast food, bro. You're making me shit my pants.
Wow, trying to fucking save face, like the face of fast food, trying to say that they're not fast food.
Yeah, and you can like look back, like In-N-Out. Like I feel like McDonald's used to be what In-N-Out is, which In-N-Out proved you can make low cost good food. They make the potatoes.
Just make it right there.
But McDonald's is paying for all of the intermediary stuff that makes it a global. Like, McDonald's is the biggest like real estate company in the world
because of how much land they own.
Yeah,
no shit,
just garbage.
But
and they get the worst of it because they're the biggest. But Applebee's, they're all the same. They're all just
100%. And McDonald's takes the brunt of it, and they're the ones who like at least do make an attempt to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like, they're playing within the rules of the American food system. So, like, of course they're going to be garbage quality. But that's because that's what the government allows.
We're sponsored by McDonald's today.
I was just about to say, we can take... I can shit on McDonald's all we want. I also fucking love it. I was looking... I have the app. I was checking my rewards points last night. I lost like they expired. I lost like 1,000 points, and I was like, "Fuck! God damn it!"
I can't believe they literally asked me. They play they hit the play. They don't even tell you the rewards. It's like that pre-automated thing on the drive-thru. Like, would you like to pay for this with McDonald's? No, you fucking idiot. And you're the guy. You're the one guy that they've got in their reward system.
I've never paid that way.
Yeah, no.
You go there more than I must.
I do it for Starbucks. Starbucks gives you a free drink on your birthday. So you can get like you can get the venti, everything. Shit your pants order. It's free.
Damn. Starbucks coffee gets me fucking jacked up, dude.
Yeah.
More than any like pour over that I can make. Anyways, we can sit here and vamp about shitting my pants, which I've done on this show countless times. Ironically, the last episode of this show that I did, we ate McDonald's on here.
Oh, nice.
I did the 50 McNugget challenge.
Oh, that's right. That's disgusting.
It was so bad.
You can just like I saw like your cheeks just like sagging from use. You look like a chipmunk.
Dude, the hours following it were so horrible. Like the migraine that came on, and also like
were you thirsty after? Did it like dehydrate you?
Probably, but I had so much more other issues on my plate that it was like, dude, the thirst wasn't even.
That's probably like a COVID vaccine. Just like pasteurized McDonald's food.
Yeah, it was bad, and you get to a point where it's not even just how full you are; it's just how like sluggish your body feels. But I mean, slamming them down. But by like 15, the quality of the nugget becomes so bad that's what makes it so hard.
Well, we studied this in economics, where like we had in college, they tell you like how bad you want a Whopper, how bad do you want the second. I mean, it's just a law of diminishing returns. That's like the 12th blowjob. Imagine how much do you love a blowjob? Imagine the 12th one. You're like, just like, get the hell off.
Get off of me. That's hilarious. All right, my guest today, one of my oldest friends in comedy. I think you might be my first good friend in comedy.
Are we family?
We're close.
Wow.
You're also the man that I think I was put on this earth solely to piss off. My sole purpose in life is to just get on your nerves.
Dude, you are a barnacle on my ship of progress.
Yeah. My former colleague. We've had a couple different. We have one show. We've done stand-up shows together. We've had web series together.
Bud Light.
We worked on Bud Light. That's how we met. The one and only Dave Neal.
My guy.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I actually brought you some breaking news.
What?
You want to be an uncle?
No way.
Yes, sir.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Holy shit.
That's right.
We fucking knew it. Is that why you guys went back home?
That's right.
We knew it.
Really?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long?
Due on my birthday, May 1st.
So
we're pretty pregnant. We're 17 weeks.
Holy shit.
Don't tell Crystal, though. We'll surprise her later.
She's probably listening at the door right now.
Maybe.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We wanted to tell you before we left and all these things, but, we wanted to tell, I'm just trying to tell people in person. I'm trying to get back to life. You know what I mean? We're going to post it online tomorrow, but like, I just like the joy of having in-person conversation is so much better. Like we've told people when we got married and engaged, it's just like trying to take back some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. Congrats. And you guys,
it was not expected. We were like, let's start to try. We're old.
I thought you were a virgin.
Me too. I was like, am I even the guy? I don't know. We got to do some. I told her, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the dad, but I can't know.
Could you imagine if you of all people went on Maury?
Yeah.
Like you with your status in reality TV, and then you go on Maury for a paternity test.
Just got to dance at the end.
Dude, that would turn the fucking reality TV world upside down. So how long until you guys know the gender if you're going to find out?
It's in a manila envelope. I brought it here to know. We don't know, but we think it's a boy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Has she done the weird test where you like, you smell your pee or like if she feels bloated on her right side versus her left, it's a girl.
I feel like the Mexican culture has tests that aren't real, but it probably works.
Yeah.
They're always like we had this one guy tell us that the guy's supposed to gain weight. I think I gain weight because she's hungry and I just eat with her, but
Crystal would know what those tests are too. I guarantee you when we go out there and tell her, she's going to be like, "Oh, have her put water in her belly button, and if it overflows to the right, it's a girl." Some weird voodoo, some
No, but it's weird because there is like a lot of hormones working. She's creating a baby, so her breath smells horrible. She's like, and I had to tell her, like,
nice.
It's just like things are going, like there's exhaust happening from making a baby. And, morning sickness and all the other things that exist. But she's craving food, wakes up at 4 a.m. to eat some food. And
she's showing? I do that too.
Oh, she's showing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she could hide it. Like, she could hide it, but, like, not in some
Tasha's
outfits.
tiny.
She can't wear her jeans. She's done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, fucking congrats. We knew it was going to happen. When you sprung your last trip on us.
It was late. And I told you, like, hey, from some health stuff.
Well, you were like a family emergency, and Crystal was like,
I never said that.
Something like, you said something like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, they're going to make an announcement because it came out of nowhere.
I didn't want anyone to think it was like a death in the family, but it was we were like, all right, we got to go tell our family.
And then when I texted you and I was like, hey, Crystal says there's like an emergency or whatever. And then when you were like, oh, no, everything's cool. I was like, it's a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby.
I know it.
It's still brewing.
Well, congrats, my
Thanks,
brother. But you're here not to talk about the baby. You're here to tell a story. So how would you describe yourself?
I'm a commentator of entertainment news on YouTube and podcast, primarily the Bachelor ecosystem.
Okay.
And all the shows that are involved. Because there's usually one every season. Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, Golden Bachelor.
There's so many of those shows. I don't know how the fuck you keep up. I follow one thing and one thing only, and it's Formula One, and I break down that news, and that's too much for me.
Well, if you want to break this down into a sport, you've got basically the men's division, which is the Bachelor, the women's division, Bachelorette, and then all the people that sort of get jaded or had some sort of heart-warming story or villains, they then go on Bachelor in Paradise, and that's just the free-for-all.
What is that one?
That's just them down on the beach, and every other episode, the rose is like the safety. So if I'm a guy and I'm on the beach, I get to give a rose to someone. If you don't get a rose, you're off the beach. And then the next week they'll bring in some more people. So it's like kind of a do or die thing. So there's a lot of like coercing to stay on the beach. You might like somebody, you might just be vying for a rose. And then when you get the rose, you might dump them for a hotter person. So it's almost like...
So it's a rotating cast of people on Bachelor in Paradise?
Yeah.
Constantly? It never ends?
The good people stick around. They try to keep certain people around, but then just like, so it's like if you might be on the beach and then you fall for the girl that's there, and then the next episode they're like, bring the hotter version of this, and then he's like, oh boy.
How many of these people do you think are there to actually do what the show is intended for, which is what? Find love?
Boo.
I cannot believe that we're still even in this realm as a society, that we're still doing these I'm here to find love type
Bachelor in Paradise has a better chance of success because there's a competition happening.
Is there money involved?
No.
Oh.
The only money that's really involved is, well, they do get paid to be there, but little. They get paid a couple $100 to be there. It's not that much. On Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, the lead gets paid like $100,000, and then the contestants get paid nothing.
So do you think their main goal is to become the Bachelor or the Bachelorette?
That, or is it just building equity through social media following? Like, you can push your business. Like, there is like ways to monetize it after. But on Bachelor in Paradise, it's, I think, better chances to find love because there's different options. Mm-hmm. So if this upcoming season of The Bachelor is this guy named Joey, if you don't want a guy who's 5'11" who's a tennis pro, he might not be for you. But if you're on Bachelor in Paradise, you'll have Thomas, you'll have Joey, you'll have all these other options. And then you're also forced to compete for that person. So it's more of like a level playing field versus The Bachelor where you've got 30 women competing for one guy. So like Bachelorette, you have 30 men competing for one woman. You don't even know at the time, do I like this person or am I just being competitive? And then they have the fantasy suite, which is the final three, which to people that don't follow Bachelor, I think it always blows their mind that in most cases they're fucking in the fantasy suite. They're like taking that night to have the private time by themselves to be like, do we like each other this way?
Are there cameras involved in that?
No. They just do like the morning after they'll do some like sexual innuendo, like they'll like show the sprinklers going off or something. You know what I mean?
And does the chick or the guy bone both contestants?
3. If you want consensually,
it's final 3.
but then you have to pay the price afterwards. So
being like, we had sex, but I'm not picking you.
Yeah, which well, I mean, the lady. So this past year you had Zach Shallcross. He ends up choosing Katie, who's this nurse, nice lady from Canada. She's great, but he also hooked up with Gabby and told the audience the next morning that he hooked up with Gabby, and she's like, dude, you could just see she's like, we promised we weren't going to talk about this. And he's like, well, I just felt like I should have told her. So he just exposed, like they were not on the same page. And it kind of became very shitty because, some people have sex before the fantasy suite. And then in the past, they would get like super slut shamed, which is stupid. It's like, imagine if you meet somebody, within a minute if you'd fuck them, and you usually would decide within several hours of meaningful time together. So the fact that they are having sex, not that big of a deal. But if you know who you're going to pick, like Matt James, his season, he decided ahead of time, he's like, I'm not having sex with any of you guys. He just knew it would not end well. And he's still in a happy relationship with the girl he chose. So,
oh, shit.
It happens.
How often do they actually stay together?
It's like a 4% success rate.
Yeah.
You have better luck going to literally the French Canadian McDonald's and finding love. Bonjour. Like, it's so bad. Bachelor in Paradise is better.
Bonjour. Bienvenue. Fantasy Suite.
Yeah, Fantasy Suite. Tu veux bang bang ce soir? So I think that made sense. So you've got past seasons where you had like this guy named Ari. He was a race car driver out of Arizona. His dad was Ari. I always forget there. His name's Ari Jr. His dad's Ari Senior, and his dad is like in the race car driving Hall of Fame. He's from some European country. I can't think.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. But either
Doesn't
way,
ring a bell to me.
he chooses this girl named Becca Kufrin. Proposes to her, and then in the time between the last episode and when it airs, the live finale, he changes his mind, and he has to bring her to a safe house, which is like a private Airbnb they set them up in so that they can like be together without the public knowing yet. And he has to tell her like, hey, I'm actually gonna choose the other girl. And he chooses Lauren, and he like, I don't know, he didn't take the ring back right there, but it was like, she's done. So he chooses Lauren. They've had a couple kids, so they ended up working out. Becca is like a fan favorite because of how much of a raw deal she got. And because she got fucked over so bad, everyone was like, make her the next Bachelorette. So they did a quick turnaround, made her the next Bachelorette. It didn't work out. Then she goes on Bachelor in Paradise, meets this guy, Thomas, who was on Katie Thurston's season, who you met probably at my wedding. Mm-hmm. He was like 6'7", gorgeous, good looking guy. He goes on the beach, ends up dating Becca. They just had a baby. They're engaged. They just got married. So it's a unique ecosystem, but some people do make it out, but you have a better chance of finding love with someone from the show, but off the show. Once you play into like the alumni factor of like who's single, and
just when you're at the Comic-Con of, and you're signing autographs, you guys get to know each other.
That's it.
Wow. But so needless to say, you are high up, deeply tangled in the zeitgeist of the Bachelor universe, right?
Yes.
And I think you've kind of worked your way to being like one of the top guys.
It happened the second year of the pandemic when there was a restraining order that I found out was placed on a former Bachelor named Colton Underwood. So he put a tracking device underneath the trunk of his ex-girlfriend Cassie Randolph's car, and she found out because her brother found it duct taped to the trunk of her car.
Oh wow!
He also, and this is the second craziest story to ever happen in Bachelor. The first one being the one that I'm in court over. So he ends. So not to tease it.
Spoiler.
So he ends up getting a temporary restraining order by her. It ends up getting settled, but he also had created another phone number and fake stalked himself and his ex to kind of be like, hey, we're both being stalked. It was a desperate attempt, in hindsight, to protect his homosexuality. After that, he comes out of the closet, and now he's got a Netflix special called like Coming Out Colton or whatever. And so like,
this sounds huge, but I don't know anything about it.
It was a huge story, but he was big up. His PR machine was able to sort of keep it at bay. Some sort of gag order was issued. She dropped her restraining order, and she's never talked about it again.
Wow.
My guess is he paid her to be quiet because I don't know any other reason why she would have dropped it, but she is super sweet. She's comes from a nice family in Orange County, and she wanted nothing.
If ever there was such a thing.
I mean, she wanted nothing to do with this dude. She ends up dating this guy who was just a friend of hers, and he creates a song called "Creep," which is about her getting stalked by him, and it's a really good song on Spotify. But it's like the ecosystem's wild. That was the biggest story. So the day I got a hold of the court documents, I just read them on my thing. I'm getting 200, 300 views, 1,000 views an episode. My channel just takes off. That's still the biggest video I've ever made on that channel. And within months, it became a full-time job.
I remember watching along and being like, this is nuts, the trajectory where you just fucking skyrocketed, because for years you were doing it, you were covering it on YouTube, you were doing like audio podcasts about it, and you were like, I just know that there's something there, I know there's something there, and myself and, a couple of our buddies like Gilbert and all that. And we were kind of like, all right, Dave, fucking, keep doing your little Bachelor thing. Good for you. Good for you. But you were right. It took off. You found a groove and...
Well, you got to enjoy, I enjoy talking about this stuff. Like, it's human relationships.
I can tell.
It's just human relationships built on this one show. So just like F1 has, I'm sure, the dating and relationships and the behind the scenes stuff. Like I cover the smut that the news organizations don't really cover from the show. So
which is part of I think that's what people really want to hear.
Oh, yeah.
You're kind of like Bachelor After Dark.
Exactly. I used to cover recaps of the show, so I would cover what happened on the show, then I'd give my opinion. And what I realized is there's daily content that people want based on what didn't happen on the show. Because that's where all the fun is.
All the goodies.
Yeah, so it became full-time, and I just, me, I've been obsessed with YouTube. So I was like, all right, well, let me find...
You are a YouTube guru.
Yeah, I was like, let me find a way to make 3 videos a day. Like, let's find the news. And then it became the podcast. I mean, it's so stupid, like Bachelor Rush Hour. So when I made the podcast this last year, we got featured in Washington Post and Time Magazine.
Yeah.
What does that say about our failing magazine world that they just want to, rip off a few views from podcasters, but...
Holy shit, wow. But I mean, you're also like a person of interest in that world. So if enough people who follow The Bachelor or Bachelor also subscribe to Time Magazine or whatever, like, oh shit, Dave.
Yeah, it's the same reason like LA Times has like your 1,000 best comedy clubs in LA. Like they're just trying to get comedy clubs to click on their link.
Yeah.
But
there are a couple places who still have that pin to the top of their profile.
It's the modern day version of paying to have your face on the Wheaties cover as a kid. Like that's all it is.
Could you do that?
Well, you could like pay. You could like order your own Wheaties box.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
because LA Times,
fake magazine
they're just trying to sell one magazine at a time, like Voyage LA.
Yeah,
and that's what Time did because they didn't put us in the actual magazine, but it was still like top podcast and.
It was like just an internet article.
Internet, yeah. Wow. But I mean the fact that my father-in-law like they don't necessarily get what podcasting is, but to be in Time magazine, they're like, holy hell, what's next? National Geographic?
All right, you can impregnate my daughter. But you're a big voice in the Bachelor world. What do you call it? Bachelor Nation?
Sure, yeah.
And so growing your following, huge following now, and you've been doing this full time for what, 3 years now?
Just about 3 years, yeah.
And now somehow, and I actually don't know anything about this, which is sad because I've considered us pretty good friends. But you are in what? Legal trouble?
You should have seen me a few weeks ago telling this to my family. I'm like, do you guys want the real story? Because get around, giddy up. And I've said the same thing telling it to lawyers, and their jaws are getting peeled off the ground.
Oh, shit. I'm excited.
So first of all, I have a court date, December 18th. It's called an injunction against harassment. I'm being taken to court for harassment by someone I've never said their name publicly, and I've never showed their face. But I have been talking about this court case extensively.
So you are talking about a court case involving Bachelor Nation.
Yes. So
and now you're going to court over talking about a court case.
Yes, and she's trying to take me to court, I found out today, in Arizona. So she had a order of protection, which is essentially a restraining order.
When you say she, who is she?
Okay,
can I ask that?
Yeah, let's start from I'm going to call her Jane Doe, but let's start from the top. A couple months ago, because I cover Bachelor News every day, I see an article in The Sun, which of course is like a smutty tabloid. The article was Clayton Echard, who was a Bachelor from a few years ago, is being accused of being the father of this lady's unborn twins.
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe. Now,
he's being accused of being the father of Jane Doe's twins.
Yes. And it's very clear early on that she's the source of this story. The story reveals information about her that she wanted to be revealed, which is that she has a TEDx talk, which is that she's a verified podcaster, and she's also been featured in Chicken Soup for the Soul. So without her wanting to reveal her identity, she left enough clues that someone could find her out within 2 seconds. And that's what people have done. Now,
Is she a Bachelor contestant?
Nope. So she works in one way or another in real estate. Clayton Echard is a real estate agent. They met at some event, whatever.
So post-Bachelor, he now sells real estate.
Right. So in the article,
Comprende.
Yeah, gotcha. in any way, blanket statement here, if I have the timeline off, this is the good faith argument. I've got like 30 videos of this. She accuses him in the article of being the father of her unborn twins. She says, we were intimate on this one night, May 20th of this year. Well, she says they were intimate
This year.
This year. So she's pregnant, allegedly, right now. And after that article comes out, Clayton says, I did not have sex with her. So she starts releasing things.
Turns out he's gay.
Yeah. Clayton and Colton. So she releases this sort of manifesto on Medium, which then gets taken down.
And Medium is?
It's just like a blog.
Gotcha.
So she releases it there. It gets taken down. So then she releases it to Reddit. She says, I'm the anonymous woman in the Clayton Echard scandal. She never says her name. Again, very easy to know who she is. She's commented many times publicly on the Reddit forums. She released this Medium article publicly. And because she's, threatened me with defamation for covering this, she's also a public figure. Very hard to defame a public figure. So
your stance on this is that she's asking to be found out.
Well, it's not up to me if people want to Google her. I can't. I'm not at fault if someone Googles her, right? Mm-hmm. And she knows that. So she's actually very smart in a lot of ways, and I'll get into that. But it became a very big story that he's the father. She releases all of this scathing information about him, saying he was demanding she take an abortion and all these things, some of which were screen grabs and some of which were just like quotes she put together. I'm already a little sketched out and not believing this story because it's a lot. It's just a lot. And I go, man, I really thought Clayton was a good guy. He was a walk-on football player in college. He made it pro for a few months for the Seahawks. The biggest issue people had with Clayton Echard on his season of The Bachelor is that he told all 3 women that he was intimate with them in front of them.
Oh, was he the guy that you were talking about earlier?
No.
Oh.
It's a different guy. So his biggest issue that people had with him was that he was actually too honest. So I already believe him, but there's a world we live in.
Dumb?
He's a Midwestern guy. No, he's not a dumb guy.
Like a little bit of a golden retriever?
I think he would be considered a mark. Like I think I would be a mark too if I was single when it comes to if you were to take advantage of somebody. Not to say that's exactly what happened. So she also in the Sun article says she contacted Scottsdale police because this takes place in Scottsdale, Arizona. And so she gave that information away, which really, made it very easy to see who she was. So she contacts Scottsdale police and says, I want a restraining order or an order of protection against him because I'm afraid for my unborn twins. It just read like fan fiction. But, I cover the story. Oh, this is what the allegations are. We'll find out. There'll be a paternity test, one thing or another. She also claimed in the article that he's dodging all these paternity tests. I mean, it did not look good. If this is his Pearl Harbor. By the time this article came out, she hit him in so many different ways. And if she's on the right side of it, good, torch this guy. But then he says, we didn't have sex. And then everyone goes, huh? You didn't have sex? So in all of the information she wanted to give the audience to show that she's the victim of this scenario and that he doesn't want to be a willing partner in this pregnancy and all these different things, she actually left out redacted information. Now, it's important to redact information if you want to protect someone's name or not dox them. She shared an email and showed the scathing parts that he said, and she redacted the part where he said, hey, we only had oral sex. So now everyone's calling it the blowjob babies. Everyone's making turkey baster jokes. Everyone's all these, artificial insemination. And you truthfully start to wonder, if they only did have sex, could she still get pregnant? Well, there could be something. Oral sex. What did I say?
You said if they only had sex.
Yeah, if they only had oral sex, there could have been.
So it's my job as your friend to protect you legally.
Yeah, please do. So
that is my area of expertise.
So at this point, I'm in the clear. But what she doesn't understand is this is where we attack. This is where we want to find the truth. We want to share this all. So a lot happens that comes out where Clayton says, she's actually done this in the past, and people go, what?
Holy shit, the Scarlet Letter.
Now, she'll be listening. You'll get a little boost in listeners here.
No, wrong book. The Red Herring.
Right, yeah. So you go, oh, do we have a pattern here? Turns out there's a guy named Greg Gillespie. Greg has accused her in the past of pretending to be pregnant in court documents showing a sonogram that he says he ran through Google image searches, reverse image searched it. And while it was doctored, it actually was from a blog from 2015. Now, she, after all of this, alleges that Greg hacked into her account and made a lot of this stuff up. So he says, no, she claims she was pregnant with twins. And she's going, no, you made that up to make me look bad or whatever. So she's also, when I started covering this story, she would send me vicious emails saying, you don't know what you're talking about. These court cases are sealed. Otherwise you'd have access to them. Come to find out, they're not sealed. I've had dozens, probably close to hundreds of lawyers reach out to me, just informing me of law, whether it be First Amendment rights or the laws that exist in Arizona where this takes place and all these different things.
And these people are seeking you out?
Oh, yeah.
All these lawyers? Wow.
Well, because they see that I'm the only one covering it. So she sends a strongly worded email recently to a lot of different podcasters. I don't know who exactly, but I know one podcaster that sent it to me to say, hey, she's sending this email basically saying, if anybody, and I've made this all public, right? If anybody takes Dave's side and doesn't take my side, I'm going to sue you for defamation. So when we're in the Maldives on vacation, I'm still making content back and forth. The morning before we left for the Maldives, which is south of India, it's very far away. It's like a 20-hour flight plus, 20-hour and change. The morning before, I came across information that she, or I should say somebody through her email account, sent an email to a fellow Bachelor commentator named Reality Steve, and she sent it to other people. That was a actual ultrasound, a moving ultrasound that was the twins, to say, hey, assholes, these are the twins. I'm pregnant. And there is a underground group of investigators. I don't know how many. It could be 20. It could be 50 that have all teamed up together to investigate what the fuck is actually going on. These investigators don't even let me in their group. They are highly secretive. They're probably, my guess is, lawyers all over the country that don't want their names attached to this, but want justice to be sought, or to find justice.
And these guys are, this collective is, do you think their goal is to find out that she's a fraud? Like, is that what they're investigating? Or are they just doing it pro bono to find the truth? I think most people that get into law have just this curiosity. So I think it's about truth and justice. And I've learned about myself that it's really about justice, because I don't stand much to gain here. She's taken me to court. It's already going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars, right? So this group of ragtag investigators, online sleuths, which, by the way, envision this as a Netflix documentary because it will become one. This group of people found out that this ultrasound, this moving ultrasound of two babies, was from 6 years ago. It was a 6-year-old. Is it hers?
She claimed it to be hers. And now hold on, she might go, Dave, you're defaming me. I didn't claim it to be mine. She sent this from her email to a peer of mine. And then I said, hey, I'm going to have to run with this. And she said, you'll be violating my HIPAA rights, which is not true. But to a layman who doesn't understand the law, you might say, oh, shit, am I violating your HIPAA rights? As a journalist, if you get information, you can share it, right? That would be the doctor violating the HIPAA rights if the doctor passed it to me. And then I go, is this ultrasound yours? At this point, she realized...
But this is a direct conversation between the two of you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And all of what I'm saying now, I released in this video. So
hold on. Let me backtrack a little bit.
Please do. Backtrack me out of this lawsuit, please.
Video of the ultrasound makes its way to Reality Steve.
And not to me.
Reality Steve sends it to you.
But first of all, Reality Steve does audio only. So wouldn't
it's just
it be
an audio of...
No, he's a podcaster. So no, it's a real video. But my point being is, wouldn't it be convenient for her to want to persuade opinion without having to show that evidence and have it be cross-examined? It's all about science, right? So it's like, if she wants to whip out her belly and show me babies kicking, or a viable pregnancy test, or anything whatsoever, and now that the world out there knows that we're pregnant, you go get an ultrasound every 2 weeks. If you're pregnant with twins, that's considered a high-risk pregnancy. You go and you get the paperwork, the photos of this, all of that. I mean, I could show you videos of me and Tasha at the ultrasound, zoomed in on it. So she sends him the ultrasound. She doesn't send it to me. But when I get a copy of the ultrasound, and when the private ragtag investigators get a copy of the ultrasound, there's several things that are noticed. It's a moving video. The timestamp on the top is not moving. And you might say, well, what's the big deal? But any ultrasound that exists out there, the timestamp moves. And my wife goes, oh, well, maybe, because she's trying to play devil's advocate to protect me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's where they took the video. And it's, no. Medical terms, everything's timestamped. And then her name read Jane Doe, her real name, where it should have read Doe Jane. Because in the medical world, it's always last name first. Fucking busted. And then they find the actual ultrasound. Her version, let's call it 40 seconds long. The actual one's 90 seconds. And of course, I took her version and the long version, and I edited all the points that she didn't share. And she made it her own, and she didn't distort and I say she, but she alleges after this that her account was hacked, and Greg Gillespie, this guy who's this big hacker, he's not, he's just a bro, right? He's the one behind it all, and he's out to get her. He's got a bone to pick with her.
So this ultrasound gets leaked or gets sent, and she's saying that somebody sent it out in order to defame her.
Right. And this would be the second or third time she's accused him of hacking her account. It's like, can we get and in other ways, she's extremely smart with her tech, which I'll get into. Extremely smart with her tech. So this becomes something where I go, I got all this information. I got all these private investigators. I've got her threatening to sue anybody who talks about this. And you might say, well, even if you're on the right side of the case, it's still expensive, right? So no one wants to put their face on it. In the morning before I go to the Maldives, I'm like, I can't fuck this up. I got to do this right. So I show her evidence saying, don't share it. And then I go, well, I'm going to share it. Well, you're violating my HIPAA rights. And then I go, and then she goes, well, it's not even mine. I go, then I can share it, right? If it's not yours, I can share it. And then she's like, well, I was hacked. You know what I mean? It was just like, you can't.
Oh, yeah. She's just trying to walk herself back.
Yeah. So this exists. I made a video. I made like a 30-minute video just showing the whole process that I went through for this to exist. Mm-hmm. And, I overlapped one version over the other with like a 50% transparency. You're seeing two heartbeats moving. There is no way whatsoever that these are not the same. And in Greg Gillespie's case from years ago, he had a obstetrician or whoever, a medical professional, maybe a nurse, confirm that she also had the same exact one. So assuming this is...
So in both cases, she used the same ultrasound video?
No, the first one was a photo image. But the first one wasn't with a celebrity. So this all existed in family court where you can get an order of protection, and it's very easy. And I understand why. It's very easy to get an order of protection against someone that you had been intimate with. Because in most cases, the most dangerous man in a woman's life is her partner, her father, her brother. In most cases, that's the most dangerous person. She tried to pull this shit on me and get an order of protection against me in the LA Superior Court. It was denied. The temporary order of protection, which is a restraining order, which would take away my Second Amendment rights and look really bad, was denied because she's never met me and it'd be a violation of the First Amendment rights. But she's still taking me to court to prove that I'm harassing her, someone whose name I've never said and face I've never shared. And you go, well, what's the big deal? Well, I have a $10,000 retainer. I did a GoFundMe. My audience has raised over $10,000. But if she takes me to court one more day, then I'm like in the red big time. So, and she already is trying to. But luckily, the law has been on my side so far.
Holy shit. Okay. So what's the status right now?
She's been very quiet until I got an email today saying she's going to be taking me to court and she's looking for new representation. She's had like 10 different lawyers. So
has everybody dropped her?
I think a lot of people will take her on and not realize what they're getting themselves into. That's just my guess. That's my opinion. So this Greg Gillespie, and by the way, there's also a guy named Mike from a few years before Greg. He's been the quietest. I think there's a lot of shame involved. I don't know too much about him, but it's a very similar story.
Wow.
So you start to get to this point where you go...
And this is another guy that she tried to basically blackmail, or... I mean, what would you even call it?
I'll tell you what I know, because with Mike, I know a little bit less. With Clayton, she has admitted this in her order of protection in her court hearing against Clayton. So let me backtrack here. There's a few side stories. A few weeks ago, I find out that there's several things happening. While I'm in Qatar, which is so I make that video. I go to the Maldives. She threatens me with a cease and desist. I was like, all right, well, you're going to have to actually get me a cease and desist. The next day, and I didn't tell her that, I said it through videos, which she's watching. The next day, while I'm in the Maldives enjoying my life, I get a cease and desist from a lawyer in Colorado. And apparently it was through Up Counsel, which is like Fiverr for law. and I'm
It's like prepaid legal. Remember that shit?
Exactly. So that doesn't mean the lawyer's not real, but the investigative journalists are like, well, he was disbarred in Texas. They start coming up with all these things. Not to say he's not that he's a bad lawyer. He just basically took her allegations in the cease and desist. It says Jane Doe alleges that you did X, Y, and Z. So even he was protecting himself in this strongly worded piece of bullshit, which a cease and desist means nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, I've got East Coast.
I don't know.
It's a threat. It's a legal threat. It makes you feel like shit, and it doesn't feel good to get, especially on vacation. But it's really meaningless, especially like he doesn't have jurisdiction. He's in Colorado. She's in Arizona. I'm in California. What the fuck are we doing? Did she pay $20? Is it $50? What was the cost? Either way, I'm going to be hesitant to share more personal information about her, but her parents are seemingly well known in their respective industries. So she's not just a TEDx speaker. She's not just a podcaster. Her parents are notable in their respective fields, like as far as the internet's concerned. Well, Clayton reveals these text messages that he was actually conversing with Jane Doe's mom, saying, hey, you got to help me out. I didn't even have sex with your daughter. And Jane Doe's mom would respond and say, just date her and, try to work things out with her. And Jane Doe, which
shit.
I've seen, I've watched what she's taking me to court for in Arizona is for sharing the public court cases. But in the court case, Jane Doe, it was revealed, said, if you date me, Clayton Echard, I will let you decide what we do with the babies. Essentially saying, if you date me, we'll do an abortion. So something very similar, I believe, was done with Greg Gillespie, but now she's claiming with Greg Gillespie, he coerced her into an abortion. He doesn't believe she was ever actually pregnant. That's his belief. But that court case is long since gone. So I've been here publicly saying, if it's true that she's not pregnant, and she'd be very pregnant by now with twins, bigger. If that's true that she's not pregnant, then my belief is she's now going to claim a miscarriage. Well, at 20 weeks, and by the way, that's a crazy, never in my life did I think, as like a comic who, I just want, I'm a sensitive guy. I want everyone to be happy and have love and all these things. I never thought I'd have to take such a vicious stance. Like watch her fake, not just pregnancies, but watch her fake
a
miscarriage, right? Because we're past the point of a quote unquote abortion here.
Yeah.
For twins. So at 20 weeks, it's no longer a miscarriage. It then becomes a stillbirth, which means you would need death certificates. If she's not pregnant, I keep on saying if, because I don't know for sure. You can't prove like a negative. I don't know if she's pregnant. I don't know if she's not pregnant. I don't know these things. I just know I haven't seen evidence that proves she is pregnant. Other than she says, well, I showed pregnancy. She apparently tested positive for the hormone that is what you test positive for on pregnancy tests. That could mean a lot of different things. It could mean
it's also be falsified. We're talking about a lady who falsified an ultrasound.
Yes. So in other ways, the evidence provided by Greg Gillespie in his court case showed that there was actually letterhead sent to him from a law office that he claims was her falsifying law records. So now we have potential medical fraud, or at least fraud involving the medical field, and then possibly impersonation of a law office, because one of the ladies on the letterhead of the law office didn't even work at that firm for the last couple of years. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what was alleged by Greg Gillespie in that previous case. So what I'm noticing is this trend to try to silence people and keep all of these fires separate and below the surface. And it's a weird form of, I don't know, thrill. There must be some weird thrill that comes from all it. And clearly mental health issues, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
I mean, where do we even go from here? This isn't even the half of it. There's actually some more interesting stuff. So
lay it down.
I find out, I get a receipt from her saying, I've ordered, sent to me, which is intimidation, saying, I've ordered servers to stake you out, basically.
Process servers or waiters?
Process servers. Yeah. Those French Canadian guys. Bonjour. I'm loving it.
So basically like PIs?
Right. It is a company that she pays to hand me the papers to say that I've been served. Well, I start waiting. I go, well, and apparently she paid the premium version. If that's the case, it's like $100 or $200 an hour. It's expensive, right? And people are like, well, you should dodge the server so she could rack up funds. My lawyer was like, don't, just we'll accept this, whatever. So I get my Insta360 camera and I start walking around with it, just waiting for some guy to be like, yo, you Dave Neal, you're served. But they have to ask your identity. So my lawyer's like, well, chances are they're going to pretend to be a fan of yours. I was like, that's never, I've never had somebody like, I'm a fan. Are you Dave Neal? Here you go. So I never got served. But it turns out she filed the paperwork for the order of protection. It was just shut down. So she either messed it up or was shut down in court. I have since received those documents through my lawyer that is the court date. It was supposed to be Cyber Monday. It's gotten pushed back. There's other interesting things that happen. As I'm covering this story, I get a press release sent to me from a man named Chase J. Jones. Chase J. Jones sends me a press release that says, it's basically why Clayton Echard should be canceled. Clayton Echard does these TikTok dance videos. He's in like a private dancing class where he learns TikTok videos. Okay. And they want him, Chase J. Jones wants Clayton Echard canceled because he dances to songs that have the N-word in them. That's right. But the title says Clayton Echard has an N-word problem. And it makes it seem as if he's just rapping the N-word, or he's a white guy, right? So they make it seem as if, they're really coming after him.
Wow.
He loses work because he does, believe it or not, mental health awareness lectures, He loses work. And you might say, well, in order to prove defamation, you have to prove that someone's like trying to fuck with you and trying to get you canceled and trying to take your money. The last paragraph of this press release is Clayton Echard should be canceled. It's like, this is why. And again, I'm not smart, but I go, think of all of the Jenners and Kardashians and people, like real people you could fry, the Bella Hadids, all these people you could come after if you want to like cancel somebody. Clayton Echard is not the most famous Bachelor. He's a very, 250,000 Instagram followers. He's a small cat, right? Uh-huh. Chase J. Jones, when you click on their page or whatever that they provided, goes to Howard. He doesn't say Howard University. He says Howard, but Howard's a historical black university. So we're assuming. I was about to say,
is he black?
We're assuming Chase J. Jones is black. I think that's a fair assumption to make. Well, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. It's where my private membership stuff is. At all points of my Patreon, I've assumed that Jane Doe may be in the Patreon, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't say anything that would get me in trouble. I don't share her name or image, none of that. I'm as fair on the private one as I am the public one. I'm not playing this game, right? I'm covering my bases. Chase J. Jones joins my $5 membership. Oh, this is interesting. So it's obvious that people are trying to tie Chase J. Jones to Jane Doe. Now, if I can prove that Jane Doe is pretending to be a black man as a white woman, a wealthy white woman, to cancel a white man, we're not just hiding behind the Me Too movement. We're now hiding behind Black Lives Matter and all these other issues. So I look into it. And with some investigative people. Am I boring you or is this interesting?
No, this is nuts.
Okay, because
So it literally is a Netflix doc.
I believe so. And this would be like episode 4, Chase J. Jones. Every episode, and she thinks I'm trying to get this made as a documentary to make money. It's like, do you think documentaries are the way to cash in? How'd you get that mansion? Oh, I dabbled in this documentary for fun. But either way, I wouldn't want a penny from it. It's my protection to show the truth.
Right.
So because you can't defame someone if they're telling the truth. And I've believed everything I'm saying here. And even if I'm not, even if I'm wrong and she ends up birthing the kids, it doesn't mean that she ever proved that to me. My opinion, until these kids come out of the womb, is that she's not pregnant. That's just my opinion. Even though, okay, so we do some forensic metadata work. We look at, which becomes...
And when you say we, who is we?
Actually, someone showed me how to search an IP address. I didn't know. It's very easy to find someone's IP address. Chase J. Jones had emailed me from 2 different email addresses multiple times. I had since said, Chase J. Jones, in order for me to make this story about Clayton, I got to get you on FaceTime. I need to verify my journalist. I don't need to give up your identity. I just need to know I'm talking to somebody here.
Sure.
And they said, well, I wrote it with someone else. Get them on the line. Let's go. Crickets. No response to my last 3 emails. Crickets, crickets, crickets. So I look into it. I email Howard. No response from them on whether or not Chase J. Jones exists. They don't exist online. And if you're a journalism student at a university, I mean, I wasn't even a journalism student at a university, and I had 8 articles in the student newspaper. Like, anyone's writing blogs. Like, there's a paper trail that exists. And you might say, well, they're trying to hide their identity, but I don't really buy that. So I look into the IP, and guess what beautiful city the emails were bouncing through?
Scottsdale.
Paris, France.
Oh, what the fuck?
She ran a VPN. So she ran a VPN through Paris, and that's where the IP comes from. But wouldn't it be nice if you could relate it back to Scottsdale? That's where the private investigator, ragtag team comes in. They looked at the metadata because Chase J. Jones sent me a video of Clayton dancing to the N-word song. That video had the same codec as the videos that Jane Doe sent us with the ultrasound, which is a relatively not exactly new version of an iPhone or a MacBook, whatever it was. It was an older version. Mm-hmm. Now you might say, well, okay, that's a little bit of a coincidence. I agree. Well, the domain that Chase J. Jones used to create this account was based in Tempe, Arizona.
Ah.
So I email Patreon and I say, look, I'm going to need the billing information. Because wouldn't it be funny if this
I remember you saying something online, and this was when I first got wind of what was going on with you, that it had something to do with Patreon.
Wouldn't it be funny? I posted online, like, how can I get billing information? So I said to Patreon, I think I'm being stalked or harassed or what, whatever. I'm going to need some billing information. They said, look, we value our creators, but you need a subpoena. So I talked to my lawyer, and he goes, look, I mean, we could get a subpoena, but we'd have to open a court case. It'd cost $500 just for the paperwork. Do we want to do this? He said, but if she opens a court case against you, then the floodgates are open. So that's where we stand. She opened a court case against me by getting an injunction against harassment.
So you now have open
subpoenas trying to find out who Chase J. Jones is, who has since wiped themselves from my Patreon. Their YouTube channel still exists. Their YouTube channel, basically their whole identity didn't exist before like October 19th. And October 12th was when I believe Jane Doe's first Medium article came out. It was something around then. So Jane Doe wrote an article on Medium. Chase J. Jones wrote an article on Medium. Jane Doe used 2 different terms that were slightly unique. Demonstrably, which she used through the cease and desist that was sent to me. And
that's not a common word.
It's not that common.
Yeah.
And then the other one was shush. S-H-H. Just
S-H-H.
I don't know. I would have said S-H. Again, not some crazy thing, right? But those things both existed, and there's some other similarities that existed. I have no problem talking about this because it's my belief that she's already kind of like been smoked out of this hole, and it would be so funny. And look, we might find out that the billing records aren't. It might just be some random person, but it might be her mom's credit card. It might be hers, and I think at that point it's like, okay, well, I think this is over. Do you really want to sue me for defamation here? Because we're gonna sue you back for all of the court costs, punitive, and all these other things, right?
Right.
So it's like I can't prove that yet, but how funny if it comes back to her that a $5 Patreon that she did to get into my community is what ended up busting it all up. We'll have to see.
Wow.
But I think
and you don't have the results of that yet, I'm guessing.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No. And that might take a little bit, but that's why I think that's one of the reasons why the court case was pushed back, to be like, fuck it, let's subpoena for this. Let's see what Chase J. Jones, let's subpoena for their email records.
So do you guys have a court case yet for the replacement date?
That subpoena is tied to, I believe, to my injunction against harassment, which is supposed to be December 18th. My guess is it'll be pushed again. The problem, here's where it gets dodgy. These like petty cases, there's like 15 cases of harassment that morning that this judge has to see. So we have hundreds of pages of information, of receipts, of evidence, of ways she has said something and then retracted and come back. So you can't give all that to a judge. They're going to go, whoa, what the, past case is this? Blowjob babies, turkey basting? It's too much. So I don't exactly know what the strategy is going to be, but because she's the plaintiff, she's the one coming after me, we're going to know all of the evidence she has beforehand, and we're just going to provide everything under the sun to just show exactly what the judge said in the first place, which is she didn't provide any evidence as to any of the specifics as to why I've harassed her, somebody whose name and face I've never said or shared.
Right. There's been no direct harassment to this individual. You're kind of just stating the facts as you know them.
And she's trying to tie other aspects to it. She's accusing me of revenge porn because I shared a faceless photo of her pregnancy video, which was her in like a cheetah print bra. She claims that that is revenge porn, and my defense to that is you posted this to your Dropbox, which she shared publicly through Reddit, which remained public. So this information, she's accusing Clayton of providing me with all these receipts and this Greg guy, and they're all colluding to get out to get me. What she doesn't realize or is unwilling to admit is that there are thousands of people. I've said this. She can't fart near a courthouse without people smelling it. Like everyone's on her ass as far as this case goes because nobody believes it. She has filed court records to have her name changed. People found that out, so she stopped. I don't want anyone to come after her, but I can't stop an audience. It's that the cat's out of the bag.
Right.
She made this public through The Sun, through Reddit, through Medium, through all of these different ways. She made this public, and yet in her court case, here's an interesting thing, right? So this is how it got like full blown, where I realized justice isn't going to prevail without a little bit of help. This is why, the saying like sunlight's the greatest disinfectant. People need to know this story, not for her own self-harm, because she has threatened, she's literally told me the blood. I mean, imagine at midnight, you're about to go to bed and you open an email. The blood is on your hands, Dave, if I kill myself over this. It's like, look, honey.
Wait, she sent you that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's like, look, I've listened to all, she goes, oh, you don't want to share my evidence. She's got doctor's notes from neurologists that claim she's pregnant. But again, a neurologist isn't your OBGYN. They're just, if you say you're pregnant, they're just going to say, all right, Jane Doe says she's pregnant. Like that's not evidence, right? So in the court case, here's what happened. There's 2 different court cases currently. And I'm going to lead up to them. So I'm coming back from the Maldives. I've since been given my cease and desist or whatever, which it's like, made for another video because everything she's sending me becomes a video because that's what I have to do is keep this public. Mm-hmm. The game she used to play was shame people into privacy. Now it's like, no, this has to be public. That's why I'm going to go on as many podcasts and talk about it as much as I can. So I'm on the way back from the Maldives. It's a 6-hour flight to Qatar. And then it's like a 16-hour flight home. I'm in Qatar. It's a 5-hour layover. The last 20 minutes of the layover, Clayton Echard releases an Instagram story. That's basically a Maury Povich moment. I'm not the dad. Court results came in, little to no fetal DNA. Not that it's his DNA, but that there's no or little to no fetal DNA. And that was it. Case is over, right? That he releases that, and he's been very mum about it. He's been very quiet, but that was like his moment after.
Have you been in contact with him?
I've interviewed him. Parts of the interview we've taken out due to the legal issues because he's like, from the moment I interviewed him, and I didn't go to Arizona to interview him at my baseball tournament, but he was there, so we did a long episode of Driving with Dave. But then from the moment we interviewed him, he had since been hit with this order of protection, so he's like, yeah, let's just take that part down. So I was like, all right, no big deal. We took the 20 minutes out. We'll share it some other time, right? Or people can just watch it on the Netflix documentary when it comes out, right? Because it has to
Your
be.
big cash cow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll be really upgrading these Sperry's here. So I'm in Qatar. There's 20 minutes left. I make a breaking news story. The internet's pretty okay, but I'm in the tarmac, like trying to upload this story before a 16-hour flight because the worst thing would have been not getting the upload done, not being able to report this breaking news story. So anyway, I'm literally like, I got my laptop to the window of the plane as it's boarding, and they're like, please remove all, I have like a blanket over it, pretending it's a baby, just to like, and like, Tasha.
So she's not the only one faking it.
Tasha knows, and Tasha's pregnant. We're in the closet with that, but she knows how annoying I'm about to be for the next 16 hours if I don't get this story uploaded. Yeah. So she's like helping me with the lie, and then sure enough, processing, checking, finally it uploads, and that story comes out. Well, she then comes back and goes really hard, saying he's lying. That's not true. The test results were inconclusive. There has to be another test. And he's like, God damn, you got to be kidding me. So there hasn't been a successful test since then. The timeline's a little murky. The next set of tests that they're supposed to take, he claims he's heading to go take the test, calls them an hour before, and then he claims they go, oh, you canceled the paternity test. Because it really helps her case to be like, he's dodging a paternity test. He must be the dad. And Clayton goes, are you kidding me? I didn't cancel this. And he was able to reschedule it quickly and take it. Well, the next test gets sent out to Maryland, to some random place, right? And it gets caught in a storm or something. It gets delayed in like Tennessee or some random place. And then the results get back late and there's no longer the ability to test the blood or whatever, the pee, whatever the hell it is, right? So they can no longer do the test.
What?
It's his belief. Now he's at the place, if you have to imagine him, he's like, did she intercept this test? And she's like, fuck you, I didn't intercept this test. Could you intercept the mailing router? I don't even know. But that's that tinfoil hat crazy shit that starts to happen when you like question your reality. So another test hasn't been received. They haven't found evidence. But a lot of people that know medical world say, you know, a few weeks into your pregnancy, if there's fetal DNA. I mean, it shows up in your blood or pee. I don't really know. One of the two, right? And it actually stays in you afterwards. So like, even if you claim an abortion, they would know whether you had a kid or not afterwards. Like it's almost like there's a way for them to sort of, I mean, I'm sure it's in your fingernails, right? It's like in your DNA, right?
Yeah,
I don't really know. So I'm not claiming to be an expert there. So there hasn't been another test. With twins, you would think, I mean, my wife's got plenty of fetal DNA. There's a lot of fetal DNA. There's a baby happening. There's a belly. It's a baby. So is the fetal DNA hiding behind an ovary? We don't know. We don't know where the fetal DNA is. She could be pregnant. I just don't believe it because I haven't received that evidence.
Because there's no evidence to prove that she is.
Right.
And she would be very fucking pregnant at this point.
Right.
That's the big fight.
Yeah. So she goes to court she goes to take him to court for an injunction against harassment. Or maybe he takes her. Either way, right? So the court systems are happening. He's like, just leave me alone. He's claiming she's sent him 500 messages, emails, different phone numbers, and he's blocked her. He's had to unblock her to say, keep leaving me alone. And he's saying she's harassing me. So this court case happens, and he shows up, family court hearing, and I get a text message, dude, the court case is live streamed. I'm at an open mic at the Hollywood Comedy. I'm like, fuck this open mic. I'm in the back watching the live stream that is in some like janky, Maricopa County courthouse, but it's a live stream. She's there with the camera frame mid-belly up with a full belly. A full belly. She's patting the belly the whole time. She's not there in person. She's on Zoom. She didn't want to be there because for whatever reason, right? And she's there on Zoom. She's asking the judge in this court case, can I show Clayton the baby? The judge goes, no. Like, this is a harassment issue. This isn't, you know what I mean? Like, no. She gets shut down. I watched the whole thing, and it's going long because no one has the time for this. It's by like an hour into it. Clayton, he's there in a t-shirt. I don't think he realizes like the severity of this right now. She's got a lawyer present. So she's on Zoom. She has a lawyer present, and she's touching the baby, the belly, and they go, shit, is she pregnant? Like, what the fuck's going on here? And then you've got all of these experts that are also watching on live stream going, the fundal length, which, by the way, the fundal length is like the height from the pelvis to the top of the belly. Like, I don't even know what these things are, but it changes based on how pregnant you are or whatever. They go, this isn't where she should be for a pregnancy. And you go, all right, whatever. And now you start to think you're crazy, going, maybe she is pregnant, But all she would have to do at any point in time is just to, send me a video. Hey, here's my pregnant belly. Look at this. You know what I mean? So she's adjusts the belly and it moves independently of her body. Now, could this be her pregnant belly? Maybe. What the fuck do I know?
But it looks like a prosthetic.
You can buy prosthetic silicone things. She's got like a weird shirt on, like these body suits kind of like the belly.
Is this video still up?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Oh yeah. So I blurred her out. I never wanted to share her. I've still blurred her out on my channel, but you can go to other YouTube channels and see her facial reactions, whatever. 10 minutes left in the hearing. It comes out that her attorney had a USB drive of evidence that they wanted to submit. And Clayton goes, they gave me this evidence, or I don't have a laptop with me. Like, he has no representation. He looks absolutely ridiculous. He looks helpless. Everyone who's watching it is infuriated because Clayton's trying to bring up his evidence and objection, no foundation. They just object to everything, and it's not done right. This is why you need a lawyer. But Clayton said, I got all the evidence. I don't need a lawyer. I'm just going to show up with this evidence. I can't, he's not a broke guy, but he bought an Airbnb. It doesn't open till the spring. He's cash poor. So the judge goes, you know what? I'm going to give you 1 week to review this evidence because it wouldn't be fair because we haven't had a chance to cross review it or whatever. So the judge goes, we'll set the court date for like 10 days from now. So they set the court date. I text Clayton and I go, dude, you did great up there. I was just trying to be nice. He did good for someone who's not a lawyer, who doesn't pass the bar exam and studied or whatever. Her attorney is green. He's not great, but he's an attorney. Clayton goes, dude, were you there? I go, what do you mean? We watched. He goes, you watched? I didn't see you. Were you there? Because it's like anyone can go to most court cases unless it's like super sealed family. I go, dude, this was live streamed. He goes, are you fucking kidding me? I go, we all watched. Everybody watched. He was so happy to see that finally it's getting attention and it's live. I don't think she knew it would be live streamed. I think she thought it would be like internally live streamed. So everyone who saw her move her belly or pat her stomach or do all these crazy things now thinks it's just this crazy performance piece. Again, maybe it's not. Wow. What do I know? I go, look, Clayton. I go, dude, you need a lawyer, man. What the fuck are we doing here? You're about to lose this thing. The fact that it was delayed from bullshit gave him the chance to get a lawyer. We set a GoFundMe the next day, raised him $7,500. He ended up hiring a lawyer. But for the next court case, she had one against him where he showed up. As far as I know from third parties, she got an order of protection against him. She won. The judge said, she goes, look, Clayton, he's sharing images of me. She said, it must have been him. And it's the same image that I'm accused of revenge porn. And Clayton said, I can provide evidence that I didn't share that image. The judge said, no, we're good. And then she won the court case. Again, that's my idea of what actually happened. She won the order of protection. And an order of protection and an injunction against harassment, they're kind of similar, I guess. So anyway, she got that against him before the next court date. The next court date was not live streamed, but it happened. They still made video of it. I finally got a hold of that video a few days ago and shared it in its entirety. And in that video, you see Clayton with a beautiful lawyer. I say that because there had to have been some sort of strategy to have like a beautiful, competent lawyer who had recently had a baby cross-examine her. What day are you due? February 14th. Okay. So you got blowjob babies due on, Valentine's Day. She didn't say that, but it's just like the story got crazier and crazier. So the judge rules in favor of Clayton and says, yeah, you have been harassing him. He's asked you not to contact him. You have multiple phone numbers, multiple emails. You haven't listened. And her only defense was, yeah, but he unblocked me and then blocked me. So it's very Pepe Le Pew to me, where it's like, oh my gosh. So the judge in the case that she won was male. I don't know if there's any connection. The judge in the case she lost was female, and this judge wanted nothing to do with her. She was so like, no, you lost. So for the next 2 years, he's not allowed to contact her. She's not allowed to contact him, and we have a pregnancy hearing. Now, who showed up to support Clayton Echard at the injunction against harassment hearing? Greg Gillespie. Greg Gillespie, of course, she has an order of protection against him. As soon as, and again, this is
God, the web here.
This is from information.
The web is insane.
And it's almost over. This is from information I've received that it's my belief that so Greg Gillespie just finished his final court case against her, that both sides were dropped. She was trying to, and again, this is the last
and this
guy.
was in the original paternity case?
Which became
pregnancy
a coerced abortion, which became something else. So like with the Greg Gillespie, it became something else. So in that case, there was their final hearing after several years of dealing with this in the privacy before this became the Clayton story, which became public. This was just privately. And to be honest, when I was made aware that I was going to get an order of protection against me, even though it was dropped, I had to tell my landlord. I had to tell my mom. I had to tell people like, hey, this is going to happen. And the quickest response people have is, dude, what'd you do? Mm-hmm. So imagine if I didn't have a platform to talk about it. The people in the back here go, dude, did you, like, not me, but for Greg, did you fuck her? Did you really do that? Like, are you really that guy? And if anyone's going to hire you versus him, you're going to hire the guy that doesn't have this crazy story. You know what I mean? So it's just a stain. It's just a shit stain on his life. So in the final court hearing, which I actually shared this morning for Greg Gillespie, she was trying to sue him for inflicting emotional distress on her. And she claimed she had rashes and lost sleep and all these things because of him. And he responded by saying, no, she's doing this against me. She asked for $40,000. The judge said, look, I'm dropping both these cases. And his lawyer said, good, that's what we want. We didn't expect to win. We just wanted to stop her. Yeah. And that got dropped. So then he's done. He can finally move on with his life. His girlfriend's pregnant. They just had their gender reveal. They're having a boy. Life is good. At the Clayton case, he shows up to watch. After that case, she files a police report against him.
For what?
For violating the restraining order, even though she's only there through Zoom. That's my belief. I could be wrong. That police report hasn't come out yet, but if anyone wants to take my batting average on this one, go for it. If I'm wrong, we're going to give the updates. So this poor fucking man, just trying to move on with his life, is still sucked in. So when I look at it, I go, all right, I think the only solution to all of this is to just yap my mouth until they take the microphone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe I'm in the right. Today I get a strongly worded email from her to my lawyer saying, I'm coming after you for releasing these videos because you didn't have permission, even though I took them down from YouTube. You know what I mean? So lawyers have told me, don't lose sleep over this one. You're okay. So I've got lawyers in probably close to 50 states right now, keeping an eye on everything, giving me good legal advice. I've got the one lawyer I'm actually paying, and he's doing a good job, and we're going to see how it all plays out. But we'll have to see if she has these babies. Now, if you want to go, my last crazy thought, because you go, what could she do to get out of this? If you want to have the opinion that she's lying, well, she can't just have an adoption, because if she does claim they're Clayton's, and she also said she's had no sex with anyone else, even though she hasn't had sex with him. And there's other heavy things that she has alleged against Clayton. I'm not even going to make public now, because she has alleged those privately, but she has yet to pull those cards publicly. And they're paper trailed, just like heinous shit. Mm-hmm. But if she does want to, quote unquote, get rid of these babies, if they don't exist, she can't pretend to give them up for adoption at this point. She can't claim it's a stillbirth without a birth certificate, although maybe she could claim that the records are sealed, which wouldn't be true. She can't have an abortion. None of those things can happen. And my crazy belief is well, you could fly to some random ass country where you don't need paper trails and just say you gave them up for adoption. And then people said, well, most countries wouldn't let you in if you're that pregnant because you can't get a visa because that's like a medical condition. So anyway, that's a crazy thought to have. What the hell could possibly happen next? I don't know. But I'm betting on the fact that I'm allowed to share my fucking opinion here and not sort of bend the knee to her. Now, there's all these other commentators in Bachelor Nation. 99% of them I'm not saying they're spineless cowards. I'm not saying that they're that, but they all decide to protect themselves. And when I thought we're all going out to war for truth here, I'm one of the only ones with the rifle on the battlefield. Guys, are we doing this? Reality Steve has been fantastic. He's supporting me. Clayton's ex-girlfriend, Susie, has said, hey, I believe Clayton. There's starting to be some but news organizations are afraid to talk about it because they do gender reveal announcements, People Magazine, they do, right. You know what I mean? They don't cover this shit. I've tried to get the story written in Rolling Stone. They found interest, but they passed. I'm not even going to say the other places that are in the works because she will then write to them saying, I will sue you if you even come near this. Yeah. So either she gets a surprise 10-page spread or she doesn't, but we're going to see how it all plays out. I'm sort of under the belief I've done nothing wrong.
This is nuts. And I mean, there's no getting away from it. It's a ticking time bomb. Either these kids are going to be born or they're not.
Name them Channing and Dave, please. Let's sponsor these kids.
Or there's going to be no kids born.
And I'll be the first to say, hey, I changed my mind. I think you are pregnant. I just haven't seen that evidence. And I believe in science, and I believe in being able to cross-examine it all. And it's my belief that she sort of has existed in this court system it's family court, it's small ball. This story's not big enough for people to care about it, which is so sad, because any one of these guys could have killed themselves over this. You know, I mean, imagine if like you lose your girl, you're accused of this, you're accused of that, you know, you lose money, you know, if someone's down in the dumps, this is not the type of thing. And I'm not a men's rights thing. I'm not, you know me, this is not like a bigger issue. It just is somebody who I believe is hiding behind movements that are there to protect women. My mom, you know, left my father when I was in the womb. Like my mom was a survivor of some sort of abuse, whether it be emotional or whatever. Like I take this shit very seriously, and I just don't believe this lady, and I think I'm allowed to not believe her.
Yeah, you can not believe an individual and have no movement attached to it.
And I would like other podcasters like Corolla and podcasters that have that have dabbled in big court cases to look at this and go, are we okay with a podcaster, her being a podcaster, silencing another podcaster for not believing her? Are we okay with that?
She's a podcaster?
She's got a podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. Subscribe to it, guys. Give it a 5-star review.
Yeah, the Jane Doe show. Holy shit. I mean, I think we're going to have to do a follow-up on this, at least when the court case comes out or when these kids are supposed to be due, to find out what the fuck actually happened. I'm definitely going to be keeping my finger closer to the pulse. I think I owe you an apology for just being a friend and not even knowing what was going on.
No, look, I don't. It's too complicated.
I'm not going to give it to you. I'm saying I probably owe you one. I'm on her side. What are you talking about?
All right, you got to do babysitter duties then. How do you like twins shitting nonstop? So this is one of those things. It's like, it's hard to explain in a Facebook status. If I even initially go, there's some lady trying to sue me, I start to look like the bad guy. So it's just hard to talk about. So I've kind of, my whole thing is like, look, I'll keep this on my YouTube where I can at least tell my story. And maybe I'll do a Twitter thread. I think that's what I need to do is like, I need to hit other mediums to bring more attention to it. But it gets crazier and crazier. And I think it'll come down to who the fuck Chase J. Jones is. I think that's what it's going to come down to. We forget about that little guy, Chase.
There's so many moving parts. I mean, I feel like fucking Charlie in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trying to connect the dots.
Yeah.
The red string. This is a lot deeper than I expected it to be.
Right?
It's really nuts.
That's the Spark Notes version.
It's
the biggest story ever in Bachelor Nation. And for her to wonder why I'm covering it, because I believe it's the biggest story ever in Bachelor Nation, and that's what I do is obsessively cover Bachelor stories. Some of them are frivolous.
Yeah.
So and so broke up with so and so cheated on so and so. Who wore this to the thing? And some of them are heavy. Like this one's heavy.
When you first started covering Bachelor news, did you ever expect that you would get snowballed into one of the biggest scandals in its history?
I was terrified when I got the first cease and desist. I've just had to learn and trust in lawyers to say, no, you haven't done anything wrong. Because I believed in the beginning when I covered it, I have done nothing wrong. I could say her name. I could show her image. Those are publicly available things. I just choose not to, because it really isn't my, I'm not trying to give her any more mental health issues. But I would like to expose, because I do believe her mom might have been complicit in some of this, due to some of the, the wranglings, because there's other things that have gone on that we haven't touched on. But it's like she needs help. She's an equestrian, so she was actually supposed to race in a equestrian event this past weekend, and of course the
mom or the lady?
The lady, and she was photographed in September
with 2 kids. Yeah.
There's some other funny. Just quickly, she was photographed in September. She jumps, like she's like on a quest. She jumps. She shows the horse. She jumps. That's what she does. And she was photographed, not really with a belly, because you got the photographer who takes all the photos.
But at a certain point in your pregnancy, you're not even allowed on a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
Let alone a horse.
So let's call her horse Mr. Ed Doe. So Mr. Ed Doe is the name of her horse, right? Well, they find out she's scheduled to show, what they call it, the horse in this Vegas event this past weekend. And all of these private people are going, all right, well, there's a public live stream. We're going to watch it and we're going to find her. Mr. Ed Doe gets scratched off the list. He's no longer there. There's a horse by another name. Well, they go back and find the initial
Chase J. horse.
They go back to the previous horse showing event, and the name of that horse was changed again. So it must have like auto changed it in the database. Well, apparently there was a fight to get her name changed so she could race. Now she might say, well, it's because Dave's stalking me online, which I'm not doing. But I don't know. But either way, she ended up scratching from that. But if she raced with twins, I mean, now that I can talk about my wife being pregnant, My wife doesn't do shit. My wife barely walks. Like she, you don't do too much when you're pregnant. You got babies inside of you. In the latest court case, which I shared the video of a few days ago, what is Jane Doe drinking but a Monster energy drink? You don't need to know much about pregnancy, but you got to go easy on the caffeine. And there she is, crushing a tall boy. Wow. Which is 160 milligrams. Tasha will have a couple sips of coffee, but mainly decaf. It ain't looking good.
Wow. Holy shit. I mean, the fucking scandal.
Yeah, that's all I got. So what's up with you?
I had no idea the rabbit hole went this deep with this whole thing. It sounds like you have really gotten tangled up with, I don't want to get on this lady's bad side, but a crazy person.
Well, I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm just trying to raise the funds, continue to expose it, and if people want to see a court case play out, we're going to take those funds and put them to discovery and subpoenas and all these things and see how it goes. Now, if Chase J. Jones doesn't end up being her, that would be my sort of get out of jail free card. Because even if there's all these other things against me, it's like, all right, well, at least we got this. Like, she's clearly harassing me. She's clearly got motive to cancel Clayton. He can sue her for defamation. It can take some heat off of me. But in the meantime, I'm tangled into it. Yeah.
Wow. And when is your court case scheduled, or did you say?
1 week before Christmas.
Wow. And then what happens after that court case? Is it all settled and squared away right there?
That's just an injunction against harassment. So if she wins that, I cannot contact her for 2 years. Mind you, I've never contacted her, but I would lose my Second Amendment right to bear arms. I believe so. At least in an order of protection, I would. And I get that. If you want an order of protection against someone, you don't want them to just be swinging around guns. Sure. But, at the same time, I was surprised that the judge wrote, this is a First Amendment rights issue, and we're not going to issue a temporary order. She was fat denied it. Boom, denied of the order of protection. Now, they're going to hear her case on an injunction against harassment because she's made all these claims. I mean, revenge porn. I mean, these are wild claims, which are very easily responded to by me. So I'm not worried about it. The judge seems to be fair from what I've been told. I would have preferred a female judge, just because I feel like they might have called bullshit easier, which might not make sense. But like, if you're not this, I don't believe this is now a family law case. I believe this is like more like, I don't know, whatever court it's in the LA Superior Court. But I would like a judge who could understand, like, is this person pregnant or not? Now, will she drop this case? I'm not sure, but I don't know if she'll be able to zoom in virtually like she was before. Before, she was like, all right, I've got an order of protection. Can I zoom in? Which, by the way, they have bailiffs. Armed bailiffs are there. So even if you have an order of protection against someone, it doesn't mean you can't be in the same room with them. So we'll have to see if she drops it, but we don't really want to, they don't stop the subpoena or any of that. My bigger concern is she going to spend some of this money she seems to have and come after me for defamation? Because even if I win, this is going to cost me, I've raised $10,000. I'm expecting it's going to cost me $12 to $14 just for this one day. A lawyer bills at $600 to $800 an hour. And when you show up to these petty court cases, you all just kind of like have to go to the courthouse and wait for your turn. And the whole time the lawyer's like, oh boy, cashing in on this one. So he was recommended from a friend, and he deals with a lot of petty family court stuff. So I think that this is his sort of realm. If it goes to a defamation level, I might have to, hope that someone can help me pro bono in exchange for receiving full costs if we're able to countersue. I mean, these are things that are out of my pay grade. You know what I mean?
Right.
Dude, we met doing Bud Light shit together. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't it.
It's still one of the biggest paychecks I've ever been paid.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. So we'll have a follow-up late December. I guess we'll
come to the baby shower.
We'll at least be getting some news. What was that thing that you said earlier? Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. Yeah?
Yeah, the truth will set you free.
Yeah. Pretty soon, I mean, this isn't something that's going to be shoved under the rug forever because of just the nature of the case. Eventually, some sort of truth is going to come out because it's a ticking time bomb. And
we'll walk it into Netflix or Amazon or Hulu and say, when do you want to start production on this?
Wow.
Because if I'm saying it without the visuals. I mean, this is fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff.
Very fascinating. Consider me fascinated. Well, Dave, we wish you the best, even though I'm on her side. I do. No, I'm kidding. I do hope, everything works out.
Channing J. Jones over here.
Holy shit! It was an IP address tracked to this very studio.
Yeah, the killer's in the room.
Yeah, the call's coming from inside the house. No, I hope everything pans out for the best.
Thanks.
And you know I'm on your side.
Of course, I'm not even like I'm cool, man. Like I know this is complicated, so it's just one of those things. Like who wants a long story? Because that's the only way I can tell
it doesn't even seem like something that in the end you can really get in trouble for. It seems like you've covered all your bases. You've never, like you said, contacted this woman directly. You've never said her name, shared her likeness, any of that. So it sounds like it's a bunch of false claims. It sounds like a small fish going after small dollars.
And what's interesting is there's no money motivation here by her. That's what's complicated. She's not trying to get money out of these guys. It's just a weird control thing, as far as my opinion's concerned.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an expensive blowjob. There's no such. Here's what I learned in economics. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So you're gonna get that blowjob. You're gonna get your dick sucked, allegedly.
But at what cost?
But at what cost?
Yeah. I guess we'll leave it there. We'll find out more when this case wraps up.
My guy.
Dave, thank you so much.
Of course.
I'm gonna shut these cameras off so I can see a photo of this lady.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. The show's artwork done by the amazing Clay Morrell and the theme song by the one and only B Wood.